Did you forget?
You laughing at my bucket hat?
No, I'm laughing at what Sam said right before the mic's cut.
What? Happy Devils Doo-Doo Tuesday?
Yeah, Duty Tuesday.
Yeah.
Duty Tuesday. But hey, Duty Thursdays is coming up soon. This is Devils Post Game. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Shorts Guy, Beer Baron, and Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal. I don't sound very enthusiastic, but hey, leave it to Gusev making sure that the Devils don't lay a goose egg. And making me change the freaking score.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, anybody wants to
coming.
bitch? You could bitch on this podcast tonight.
Ooh.
Keep the hits
Sam
clean.
Woo.
We want to make it family friendly. But seriously, now they want us to come back to the arena? I ain't paying for that crap. Jeez, I'm not paying for that crap. What, you're paying? We're paying to boo your team on March 2nd when they play the Islanders and the Rangers? What, do you expect this to be the Happy Devils recap? No, I'll let Scotty do that. I'm out.
I like that Sam did his
Sam's out.
comedy routine. Did his comedy routine right in front of his brick wall like a real stand-up would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
No, he was
he's
nice.
turning into an insult comic, though.
Yeah.
Or like
we'll do the. Go ahead.
no. I was,
What are you gonna
it's
say?
all right. I was gonna say we're
All right,
turning
we'll do
into like
the-
the Lewis Black of comedians. You told me go ahead.
We'll do-
You told me go ahead, and I started to.
Okay, Beer
we'll do
Baron,
the,
you're done. Scotty, let's hear from you.
Yeah, we'll do the unfortunate rundown here real quick. The Devils, no goals in the first. What is it? Olofsson, Asplin. We're going to Aspen, baby. That's all I kept thinking of at that point. My mind just wandered into like Dumb and Dumber and South Park pizza wedge French fries. Stan Darsh, Cousins, and then look at that. The goose got loose with what is that? About like 30 seconds left in the game at 1932. That's 28 seconds. His second from PK, his fifth. Zaka point streak continues. Also his fifth, and then he can put in a an empty netter with what was it, like 0.2 seconds left. Shots on goal.
Off, Sam.
0.2. Yeah, it did. Shots on goal, Sabres 12, 13, 12 for 37. Devils 15, 6, 21 for a total of 42. Only 2 penalties we took, but we gave up another power play goal. We were 50% on faceoffs, so at least that was good. Hits again, always kind of in the even 20 to 18 there. Blocks 10 to 13. A lot of giveaways, 10 giveaways. Just it's disappointing game here. Disappointing game. What's up, Samwo?
I checked the text message that I sent you guys. I'm pretty happy about that. That's the only thing I'm happy about. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, disappointing game here. Like, I don't know. This is one of the first games where I felt like, the Devils came out, hit our first 10 minutes like we do. We use our speed to our advantage, and we were flying out there, and it looked like we were going to have a good game and, maybe get a little revenge for those other games against Buffalo so far this year. And, man, we did not play well. How many posts did Buffalo hit, by the way? Was it like 3, 4 posts that Buffalo hit?
2 on the power play. It was at least 2 on the power play, and I think they hit they definitely hit 1 in the first. They may have hit another one too. So it was somewhere between 3 and 4 because I noticed that too. But to hit 2 on the power play, like, oof. And the Devils scored on the shots tonight. They just could not score.
Yeah,
they
but a lot
poured
of
on
those
a
shots
bucket
were
load. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A bucket load. See, everybody? Who's that hat there? Look at that hat, by the way, everybody. We can smile about something. That hat is something to smile about right there. I love that hat.
Hey, I'm pretty pumped about this hat. I needed a Devil's Bucket hat.
What's up for? And look at that. What's the puppy's name again?
His name is officially Archie. It was going to be Chico for a while, but Archie after my great uncle. So yeah, he's just chilling out with me.
Get the dog up here. Let's make everyone feel happy.
Go.
Show us the
there
dog.
There you go. There we go. There you go.
Hey.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. He sat next to me watching the game, and he was just
he was disappointed as well.
Oh, big time. These big ears, he could hear me sighing the whole time. The Devils dumped on a bunch of shots tonight, but a problem that I've noticed with the Devils is they're not getting any traffic in front of Ullmark. And Shorts Guy, I wanted to pose this question to you. If you're taking on 30, 40 shots that are, your sight lines are completely clean and they're mostly from the top of the circles or from the point, I mean, is this going to be that challenging of a game for Ullmark, or is it just that he was on point? I mean, he played last night.
Why does he look like Hasek out there, like stopping everything?
Yeah, we make every goaltender look like Hasek. You know, that's what drives me crazy.
Yeah. If you're getting a high number of shots that you can see really easily, you know, if you're a good goaltender, you're going to stop all of them. You know, your night's getting easy. You know, the only thing where you can start going down on is if you really get that high number of shots, you are getting a lot of work, so you could get tired and kind of fall asleep for a shot. But for the most part, if you can see it, you're going to stop it. If you got no traffic in front and they're really low quality shots, you know, you have no excuse to not stop all, if not almost all of them.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that, you know, the per usual implosion of Devils fans on social media. I open up Twitter, I'm like, hey, it's 2-0, and quickly went to 3-0. I open up Twitter and it's like, Nico, he's your captain. This is a joke. This, you know, the coaching staff, what a joke. This team, what a joke. And it's like 5 days ago, these are the same people that are like, we're gonna win the cup this year, gang. Listen, chill out. Yeah. This is a team that didn't have any kind of preseason. There's a couple guys that are still getting their legs under them. Sami Vatanen, Nico Hischier. Nico's been in the lineup for 3 games after coming back from a leg injury and not playing or practicing or doing anything. Just basically they're like, hey, kid, here's the captaincy. Go out there and play. You know, things take time. And if
they need practice. They are so bunched up out there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not going to get much.
Oh, we're going to have to bring in the Sam Wu penalty kill teaching lesson again, I think, in a little bit.
Yeah,
man, well, I mean, they were leaving dudes wide. Eichel was, oh my God, like Eichel, he hit the post twice on the power play, I think, on that one, didn't he? Because they only technically got one shot, but he hit the post twice, so it didn't count as a shot on goal. Like,
and I don't think a lot of people are giving enough credit to Buffalo, because Buffalo is an extremely talented team. They've just been underperforming. So you look at their lineup, there's some studs on that lineup, but I mean, like, people are, you know, they think that Buffalo, we should walk in there and take 2 points every time we see them. That's not the case. It's kind of actually reversed. Like, teams feel that way about us. What are you watching?
They seem to have our number. They seem to have our number.
You know what I'm watching? I'm watching they're showing the replays of the goals, and I'm seeing a real good. The first goal that the Sabres scored tonight was a really good goal. That was a product of passing, a defensive breakdown on the power play. Pass gets across. Blackwood almost gets it with his glove, but a really solid shot. That second goal couldn't have been a worse goal between the bump or the bounce. I can't remember who was in front, but the bounce off the defenseman in front. It loops up over Blackwood and just a little touch, and it hits the post and goes horizontal across the goal line, but just enough to go in. Like, that couldn't have been, you know, any worse of a goal to have scored on you as far as bad luck is concerned. I actually, when that goal scored, I sent a message to the guys from Hockey on Tapped, because, you know, 2 of them are my defensemen, one is one of my forwards, and I said that is the same type of goal that we would happen to give up because we have such terrible luck on our team. You know, where it would bounce off one of our guys and just lands near the stick of an open player who no one is covering. But it just, and then that third goal, you know, from from a poor clearance, which no Devil there was there to get it. It goes back behind the net, a no look shovel pass behind to the front of the net to a backhand to just kind of hit it in at an awful angle. You know, you take away those 2 goals, those 2 terrible goals, and it's still only 1-0. You know, but obviously you can't take them off the scoreboard because they go in the net. But those are just 2 terrible goals to be giving up. Those are, you know, if it's a high quality shot and a high quality goal like the first one, yeah, that's fine. I can accept that. But those 2, man, those 2 goals sucked to give
uncovered,
up.
Uncovered, yeah. And you know, you feel bad for Blackwood because
and luck. There is luck in those 2
luck, right.
In both of those goals. That bounce for that bounce to just loop over Blackwood on that second one, and for that blind pass to be there, and for that Buffalo player to get the stick on it and put it in at that awful of an angle, there is luck involved in that too. But those are just 2 terrible defensive lapses to be giving up, and it's just it sucks. But again, those are defensive lapses, and you can change that. You know, like that first goal, that's going to go in no matter who's out there. That's just a solid play. But those last 2, those goals suck. But the good thing is you can make those changes to prevent them from happening. Now, whether or not they're going to have time to go do that and make those changes, well, that's a whole other story, which I doubt they're going to have that time for. But that's the only silver lining I can see out of those 2 goals that they let up, the second and third.
Yeah. This is. I mean, there's. I don't know. There's not a lot to take from this game. I feel like I don't know. Like besides, they need practice. I mean, and they're not going to get it in this schedule. And you're looking at it. Well, we got Buffalo again, so we've been playing not too good against Buffalo, and then we got Washington over the weekend, and then it's the Islanders.
We need a Rangers,
right?
We need
where's the Rangers?
We need a Rangers game to get our feet under us.
Yeah, but right now, the way we're playing, the Rangers are looking at us like, hey, 2 games against the Devils. It's time for us to change our fortune, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that was going to be the downside to this schedule, where if you started sliding against a team consistently, you were going to see them once, twice, 1, 2, 3 times in a row in a short amount of time. That's not good. So that was going to be the downside of this schedule. And we get Washington in a back-to-back. Back-to-back. So that means that we're definitely going to be seeing a tandem of Blackwood and someone, or Wedgwood and Dell. You never know. They may give Blackwood that whole weekend off. You never know. My guess is they won't, but I've been proven wrong in the past because I'm not in the locker room. I don't see what's going on. However, it's a tough stretch. I mean, we got a tough 3 games coming up, tough 4 games before we get to the Rangers and hope we're still above water.
One good quick stat that I just saw with Nico coming back, we talked about it tonight, earlier, our face-off was actually at 50%. Nico was 12 of 17 in the circle tonight. I think it was 26 of 38 in the 3 games back, which is like 60-some%. So that's what I mean. If we're looking for, if we're really reaching for positives here, that's one thing that we can say is that Nico has, and he's not even in full, Beer Baron, you mentioned before, no preseason, no training camp, no nothing. He's coming off an injury and COVID protocol, and he's already, at that level. Hopefully he's even going to improve and get better on that. So that's one part where we can say, hey, something good. Sorry, Winston is sneezing in the background, by the way, here, if you can hear that coming through.
Yeah, and I mean, now you have to face the Sabres again on Thursday. The one thing that I would like to see, and you started to see it towards the end of the game, is the Miles Wood, Mikey McLeod, and Bastian line starting to get a little bit physical, starting to get a little bit chippy, starting to get in people's faces. I want to see a little bit more of that grit come out. It's nice to see Jack and Paul Mary's line with Janssen flying around. That line has been fantastic the last week or so.
Chemistry is coming together.
The chemistry is really coming together, but I want to see that 4th line start to get a little bit more gritty. Get down in the goaltender's face, like go out there. When Miles is scoring
like
goals, and those guys were starting to like they were, and then they kind of I feel like they got away from it a little bit, and I feel like they need to get back into that. When McLeod scored his couple of goals, they were down low. They were dirty goals. They weren't like fancy coming into the zone and just ripping one over the goaltender's shoulder. It was you're grinding into corners, you're grinding behind the net, and fighting for a loose puck in front of the net and making something happen. And I feel like that fourth line needs to get back to what they were doing. Maybe drop the gloves, punch somebody in the face. I feel like Buffalo
Craig
has
Best just said that on the Facebook chat. Would you try spark a fight?
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I never hated Buffalo before. I kind of hate them now. I kind of hate Buffalo right now, and I knew this was going to happen when we started playing in this little division. That you see all these teams so many times, you get back into those old school rivalries.
I don't like you so much no more.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of,
Maybe it's the Taylor Hall effect. We already know that, but
no, you know what though? But that rivalry did exist back in the Brodeur Hasek days. Especially when in the playoffs, like that those series, that one series in particular between Devils and Buffalo was just such a goaltender's duel. It just became a rivalry, and we're seeing that again because we just haven't seen them as often. But the way that this was set up, it almost seems like every couple days is a mini playoff series. So I'm really curious, though, kind of on a side tangent, if maybe the NHL might realign divisions to kind of keep this going, to where it'll be even more heavily dependent on the division, and maybe keep only 4 divisions.
I think you obviously need to see everybody at least once, right? Like what they do now, they cycle through every single team once, so that way we get to see a Connor McDavid on the East Coast. And
I would be fine with them doing it every other year. I don't like if they only did one game against like the teams out west. I kind of liked that when like the West and East were like different. Remember back? Yeah, like the West used to be so fast, and East was so like you got to grind it out. Back in the day. I don't know. I don't mind that, but it is still cool to see all the different teams come in and out. But I'd be fine if they did it like in every other year. Like this year, the Devils are in Edmonton. Next year, the Oilers come to Jersey, type of thing.
Yeah. Or do kind of like
to get more division games. To get more division. Yeah. You don't play every conference every year or every division every year.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, even if you had like more games against like all right, well this year you're playing the West, so now you get 4 games against the Oilers instead of just 2, but you're not going to play the North Division, or you're not going to play the Central or something like that. So you get like more of an opportunity to see some other teams more than others, or whatever, and you could rotate it back and forth. Once again, these are really great ideas that will go unnoticed by the NHL. Just kind of throwing it out there. But was something.
They'll find a way to screw it up somehow. Like we'll play a game against every team, and then they'll scatter in some divisional games.
Yeah, or they backload it, or they front load it.
Real quick, I just want to say, Matt Fraudenberger says no bodies in front of the net until the end of the game. Craig Best, Ruff needs to rip on them in a practice, and also with the wood fight. Daniel Cicerone. Oh, where's Merkley? I'm asking that too. I like Nick Merkley, but rotation. Who knows? We might see him next game. Might see Kuokkanen go down. Might say, hey, you might see McLeod or Bastian or Wood take a game off as well. You never know. But Sharon Govich, Ryan Hunter wants Sharon Govich back in there. I don't know what's going on with my comments here. I can't see all the different comments. I see other people like referring to other comments. Yeah, what Ramona said. I can't see what Ramona said for some reason. So
because it's probably
I don't know what's
back.
happening.
It's probably back there. Yeah, no, I noticed that too.
Michael Govich. Yeah. I think we talked about this yesterday. I mean, I love Adam Henrique, but I don't think we just
we don't have
moving
space
forward
for him right now.
Yeah, we just don't have space for him. We have
we
too
don't
many.
have space for
Look
him.
at this with Sharon Govich, Merkley, and Malstev, and Kuokkanen, and all these guys. I'd like to see. I'm happy that we're seeing all these guys. And Short Sky, we talked about it being on like almost like a baseball rotation. Like having a platoon of left fielders or something like that, where you got different guys out there every day. I'm kind of excited to see that. Like I like that idea.
Yeah, and I just hope that it gives us some success, because usually when we start seeing the mass rotation of players, it's the end of the season, and it's things are looking dire as far as playoffs are concerned. But if we're going to do that, I hope it works, and I hope it sparks something, because there's no way, even if they find a successful combination in the lineup from from the first to fourth line all the way down. There's no way that they're going to be able to run with it more than a couple games at a time without tiring these guys out. So these guys, whether or not they realize it, like, remember 3-4 weeks ago, everyone was asking, where's Butcher? Where's Butcher? Well, Butcher's been back. He finally got his shot. So this is just going to be what it's going to be for the season.
And look, he's back out again already. There's a lot of people calling for Kulikov and some of those for Butcher to be back in, I've heard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is some people, freaking out like, oh, well, why is Murray back and Butcher's out? Murray on paper is a better defenseman than Butcher. Butcher had a couple good games when he came back, but he's also can be a liability in the back end. I mean, trust me, I would love to see Will Butcher back, but I mean, a lot of people listen. We got tricked with a little fool's gold in the beginning of the year when we were 6-3-2 or 6-3-1 or whatever it was. We're riding high. Then we hit that COVID, 2-week break, and that kind of screwed us. We were riding a good momentum, and the team was doing great. And then that COVID outbreak happened, and guess what, man? Things happen. And that's what this season's kind of going to be like. And it's just going to they need to find a way to get out of this rut. They need to start with Thursday's game. You can't think ahead to Washington. You can't think ahead to the Rangers. You have to think about Thursday's game. You got to, go out there. They got to start playing with a little bit more fire in their step. And they also might be tired. You know how many, I think every day they confirm one other guy is like Kulikov, Bratt, McLeod.
I'm not buying Bratt. None of the young guys. I can't buy that. We're in Allen Iverson territory here. No practice, So like, they should have plenty of energy.
But that's the problem too.
The older guys, maybe not though. But those the young guys.
I'm saying that
especially how young some of our guys are.
I'm saying that a lot of guys confirmed that they had COVID, and I said it on Sunday. Like, we don't know how that affects people, and there's been a lot of people that say like it affects you, like where you're trying to catch your breath a little bit more. You're not, you're just don't have the same energy, and that could be what's going on with the team right now. Either way,
that's a good point.
Thursday is a big game. Thursday they got to get their heads out of their asses and they got to get in gear. And it seems like the third period they finally wake up and are like, "Oh yeah, we gotta really play with the little."
We're here to play.
We're here to play. We can't just sit back.
Which is different than what we're used to in the third period, where they fall apart in the third period, and that's where we lose all of our games in the last 5 minutes. But we can't be chasing games with 5 minutes left to go and think we're going to be successful. But something's got to change, and you're right. The after effects of COVID. That's also, I guarantee they were working out, but there's working out, and then there's getting time on ice, and game situations. It's a totally different type of fitness. You only get that fitness from being in the game, from being on the ice, and they had that 2-week layoff, and I said this right when we went into that damn COVID break. You know what? The team looked like they were having fun at the time. Now they look like they are not having fun at all. And I think that was the worst part of that COVID break. We can all agree, like they just went from they were up here, they were high, and then all of a sudden nothing. That was what I was so worried about. And it's unfortunately coming to fruition.
Oddly enough, too, right. They have they have a better record on the road than they do at home. They've been showing a lot more fire on the road for some reason. So I don't know. Maybe because the next game is in Buffalo, correct? Right? Yeah. It's not another home game. Yeah. It's in Buffalo. So maybe that's something that they need to spark them. I don't know. I'm reaching.
And it really home and away really shouldn't make too much of a difference this year because there's no fans yet. That might change obviously in the next week. But at the same time, when you're on the road, you don't have the distractions. You don't have to worry about, and I'm not being negative, but you don't have to worry about your families around. You don't have to worry about the kids around. Like your focus is on one thing. It's hockey. You go there, you play the game, you go home, because they're not really staying. I mean, they're staying overnight in some of the further places, but you don't have all that extra stuff to worry about. So there's less distraction on the road. And there's no opposing fans to be, shouting all kinds of things at you on the road too. So, it's almost like it should almost be like a stress-free environment on the road, and then home, if they, as much as I'm for letting your team know when they're not doing well, I think that with fans coming back and if they start giving these types of performances and it gets ugly with the 2,000 or so that are in the building, I think could have such a negative effect on this team, more so than any other time.
No Sam
finally-
Woos around the building on the penalty kill. He'll be yelling at them from the stands.
I
my
gotta get seats.
They'll just be
On Thursday at 4 p.m., I got to get seats behind the penalty box or behind the coaches.
Oh, Lord.
they're not letting you that
I'll
close.
pay four figures. I'll pay four figures, and I'll double mask. I'll double mask.
He said 4
and I'll
fingers.
yell.
He said 4
Yeah, I
fingers.
think he said 4 fingers. Yeah.
He's
I'll
going
get
to
you a
play 4
finger.
fingers.
Oh, no, I'll get you
Here
a
comes
toe.
Sam.
That's from Big Lebowski. I'll get you a
Yeah.
toe. What do you think? Toe? I'll get you a toe by this afternoon.
I'll get you a toe.
Kidding me?
Yeah.
A little green nail polish on it, too. Yeah. Hey, big shout, by the way, to our boys, Al Skates and Whistler up there on YouTube Live. There are new buddies out there. Thank you for joining us. And please give us your reactions, what you think about this game. What frustrated you the most tonight? Let us know because we want to talk about it. We want to discuss it. We want your opinion to be heard. So let us know what's up. A big shout to everyone on YouTube Live. Comments!
Yeah, Whistler.
Yes, we have comments back.
Woo!
Whistler asks, I'd like to see Nolan Foote. That's who he wants
I'd like
to
to
see.
see-
Whistler from
Ooh,
YouTube Live. Yeah.
I'd like to see some Nolan Foote as well. He might be.
Okay,
I'm sure by the end of this season, we probably will.
Yeah,
So I mean,
it's coming.
We're gonna run into an issue where we're gonna have a logjam of people. Before going off. Oh, where's Sharangovich, Merkley, and this guy and that guy. Adding foot into there. It's a good problem to have because you're like, well, it's not bad to have options, if you will. But I mean, it's going to get to the point where this team is going to go one or two directions, obviously. But you hope that it doesn't start to turn into Tank City USA. If that happens, you might see some guys moved, and if you see some guys move, then the young guys will definitely get a lot of playing time. I just hope that we get to the point now where Thursday we start to turn it around. You got to think that the coaching staff, they're addressing it in the media. Like they understand that there's an issue with the power play. There's an issue with the PK. But I think, not to keep harping on the same thing, but Scotty nailed it on the head. Practice.
Oh, yeah, they need practice.
It is the lack of practice. It's the lack of being together. And there's just a lot of new pieces that are back into it. So I don't know.
It's so hard to get a flow when you don't have a practice. When you're bringing, someone back like Nico Hischier who hasn't played in a long, long time, and then throw him out there with very little practice. It's something that they're going to address. But then again, we're not the only team dealing with that problem, so we have to figure it out because all the teams in the league are in the same situation with compacted schedules. Dallas had a bunch of games canceled. Tampa had a bunch of games canceled. So it's not like it's just a Devils problem. It's a league-wide problem. Ours got compounded a little bit more, so we're just gonna have to figure it out, and that's what they have to do.
Yep.
And Omar, I think he just said it out there. That means the assistant coach is not doing a good job. And yes, we can say that, but like we said, they don't have time to work on it. Unfortunately, they're working on it as they go in the games.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, I don't deny it is bad. Did you hear Sam Wu the other day? Have you listened to the Wu report? Sam Wu went straight like Wu-a-mania. Sam Wu's gonna run wild all over you about the PK. It's bad.
Speaking
terrible.
of which,
It needs to be improved.
McLovin of YouTube Live says Devils need to get more traffic in front of the opposing net. Goalies are seeing all of our shots, and Whistler says bingo. I'm also practicing, for this reopening. I've got my remember at our events. You could take a selfie, with the crew at our events.
Yeah. Apparently in
Back
front
when
of
we could have
the ha-ha hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you would have turned the camera full on brick wall. You should have just done the full on brick wall and then got like a microphone like this and put it in front of you. And Put on like a
I could do that.
bad suit with one of those big square ties. I get no respect.
Our boy Matt Frodenberger actually. Who was that? Who said that about being in front of the net there, Sam Wu?
McLovin.
McLovin.
Yeah.
Matt Frodenberger said the exact
YouTube
same
Live.
thing.
Yeah.
Frustrated. Olmark saw every shot without any issues. And that's true. We talked about it. Shorts guy, how easy it is to stop a puck when there's nobody standing in front of you and you could see it coming right at you.
That's your job. You got to stop it, and it's easy. That's it. That's your job.
When nobody is in front of you and the puck is coming right at you, it shouldn't be that hard to stop it. And that's what we saw tonight with Olmark looking like he looked like Patrick Waugh out there. Like it was just crazy. Like I don't know. I was really frustrated with this game. This is the first game this season where I was just like,
I think we all
like
were.
I kind of like just
I
lost it. I was just like, rah.
Yeah. I got one of those like bad feeling in my stomach after they scored that first goal, and I was just like, oh God. Like that same feeling I would get almost every game last year or the year before, like that, just kind of like pit in your stomach, like son of a bitch. And then I think what compounds it is, like Shorts Guy said, like when they scored that second goal, you knew it was bad without having them have to show you the replay. And that's not good. You know what I mean? Like we have a pretty keen sense of the game. Like we've all had some kind of like hand in the game in some way or form. But I have to say, I'm not a trained professional coach, and I could point out things that are going wrong with this team. That's not good. You know what I mean? Like if I could and I'm not a couch jockey. I'm not like one of those jerks that sits on the couch like screaming, shoot the puck, when there's no chance in hell that he could shoot the puck. I mean, there's obvious breakdowns on this team, and I'm like, Bryce, just take out the prompter and just start pointing it out. Please get Bryce Salvador behind the bench.
You know what?
Please
though?
get Bryce behind
You
the
know
bench
what?
because he seems to know what's going on, and he seems to know how to fix it.
And he's not afraid to call out his former teammates either. When he was analyzing that first goal that we gave up on the kill, he even said himself, he's like Travis won't be returning my phone calls for a while. But he pointed out that was Travis Zajac. That was Zajak's fault. He overcommitted, and that pass happened. That pass to begin the play got through. He does have a great command of the game, and I guarantee the rest of the staff does too. It wouldn't shock me if they were tapping him to help out with some analysis too. But it's the coaching staff can only say so much. It's the guys in the ice that got to stop making the mistakes, and something's not right, and it's a matter of finding what that is.
And Bryce did. I don't know if anybody watched the pregame, which was great. Erica Wachter and Bryce Salvador always do such a wonderful job on that, and they had this great interview with Travis. But then Bryce broke down a few of the things that are going on, and he talked a lot about how the younger guys, how Maltsev, who's been in the NHL all of 5 seconds, is put onto the PK. They've been having rotating guys out there, and even Lindy Ruff said in a pregame press conference, he said, we're trying to find combinations of guys that we can commit to the kill. I'm sure when Nico Hischier gets his feet completely under him, he will be a key piece to that, like he's been in the past. I'm sure that there's, they're waiting for that to happen, but my God, it's and every time we take a penalty, I'm like, oh, damn it.
Oh, the penalty is just, you're just like,
real quick. Do you know where you figure out what those combinations are and test them out? You figure that out in practice. And what are we lacking? Practice.
We're talking about practice.
So we're just happen to be, we have a lot of young guys, and we're trying to figure out things on the fly because we have to, and we're just not adapting well enough at the moment. Whereas other teams are. Other teams have been together longer. Other teams, and not just this season, but other teams have played together as a cohesive unit for more seasons than the Devils have. Like, how many of our players are new? I mean, we I know we have AHL legend Mike McLeod up this year,
Murray.
but
we can start rattling off names if you like. Yeah.
Half the roster.
I mean,
half the freaking
most of the roster. Yeah.
Most of the roster. Without a training camp.
I know.
even the ones in our system weren't there last year. Like McLeod and Bastion, they weren't on the team. You know, they're new basically.
Oh, and wait, a brand new coaching
Smith.
staff, a brand new coaching staff with brand new philosophies and brand new ways of looking at things. And
no
guys,
practice.
It takes time. Takes time. Be patient.
No practice.
Be patient.
That's because everyone wants the other P word. Playoffs.
Yep.
Playoffs. You guys are talking playoffs. I don't get
Exactly.
practice. You're talking playoffs. Winston sneezing again.
Yeah.
He's allergic to bad
frustrated
hockey.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very frustrated. You know, he just kind of hung out with his pillow the whole time and just ignored the game. You know,
Just
No,
took it
the
out on the
pillow.
pillow.
yeah, he took it out on that pillow. Well, Sam Wu, I hear the music. Should we make some bold predictions for? Or I did hear music. Did it go away?
Yeah.
Should we make some bold predictions for the next game against the Buffalo
my bold
Sabres?
prediction. My bold
Sabres.
prediction from Sunday night was wrong.
Well, yeah, I was wrong. I was talking about a clean
Mine was
sweep.
wrong too. I said 2
shutout.
points for
We're
Nico.
all wrong.
Sweep.
Yeah. All right, so we got to
Well,
make some bold predictions. If anyone's got them, hit them up on the Facebook page and on YouTube Live right now. You know what? Because I did it once before with Kyle and I eventually got it right, I'm going to stick with it, and I say Nico breaks through again. I'm going to go with 2. I won't say it again if it doesn't happen, but I'm going to say Nico 2 points next game. I'm saying a goal and assist.
I say Miles Wood and the McLeod line pick a fight in the beginning of the game, spark this team in the right direction. Devils win 3-0. Mackenzie comes back with a blackout.
Ooh, I like it.
Ooh. Trademark
Very
it.
nice.
Somebody steals that.
Trademark
Trademark
is
it.
it's gonna get stolen. Sure, Goldbush got stolen
Very
from
nice.
me. All those other fun things. Blackout. When he gets his, he's gonna get a blackout this Thursday. Unless they trick us and they put in Dell, but whatever. Either way.
I'm gonna go with a more blanket statement that there's just gonna be a Devil shutout, because who knows if Blackwood's gonna get the start, if they're gonna give it to Dell or Wedgwood with the compacted schedule coming up. So a Devil shutout, and I'm gonna say, let's see, I'm gonna say Jack Hughes with 2 goals and the Devils win.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my bold predictions.
All right,
right.
Sam Wu.
On Thursday, I'm going to have 17 buffalo wings to eat before the game. I know that'll come right. That prediction will be right. Erica Wachter rocks the leather. She didn't do
Yes.
that tonight. Going to have a little talk with her. Well, I don't
Red
think she's
leather,
really
white
gonna listen.
leather, green leather, or black leather. Those are the colors. Let's get those. Let's get her all leather jackets in the Devil's colors, and then that way she's taken care of.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I think right now the Devils are in a
The
funk.
red leather's lucky.
I think the Devils are in a funk right now, but they'll rediscover their magic late in the game on Thursday. You'll see.
Okay. All right.
So real quick, I'm gonna say something before we sign off for today. And even though he was at one point a hated rival, but there was video that came out today that 6 weeks after his heart surgery, Washington Capitals legend Henrik Lundqvist was on the ice taking shots again today.
Yeah.
So
That's
shout
amazing.
Shout out to Lundqvist for being back on the ice only 6 weeks after heart surgery and taking shots too. So
Yeah.
Capitals,
moving pretty damn good.
Oh, moving fantastic. So the Capitals have their legendary goaltender back, but good for him being back already. So I just had to bring that up.
Oh, and the Mackenzie blackout can be brought to you by JCPNL. So that's the other thing that we can throw in there.
I hate that power company. I know Shorts Guy does, and he doesn't even have them. They screw
Yep.
it up.
They knocked my power.
I'd rather
out.
live in Texas and pay $17,000 for my electric bill than have JCP&L. That's just me. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching, tuning in on Facebook Live, YouTube. We had one person on Twitch. Going to find out who that is. And Periscope. We'll be back on Thursday night for the post game. But stay tuned for the Woo Report tomorrow and State of the Fan address. We're going to be talking about analytics. Till next time, let's go Devils.